There's so much going on, and it's been 2 weeks since our last call. So, I mean, that's all the way back to Blast and a lot of stuff. But yeah, so as far as the question, are we back? I think there's like a lot of mixed data going on. I mean, this here looks at ETH volumes. You can see that we're basically up 2x versus last week, and kind of trending higher. The next slide puts that in perspective with the overall market, though. So this shows like just how this sliver is compared to where we've been over the past couple of years, So
why do you have to show that slide
at low levels?
That slide looks
you don't have
we didn't even need to see that slide. I thought we were back for a second, and then I see that slide. I'm like a little tiny tick up at the very bottom. But you know what? It's heading in the right direction. I see a tick.
It's heading in the right direction for sure. So this is unique buy wallets. I think this is the thing everyone's always looking at, and we don't have an increase in unique buy wallets on the ETH chain. So this is weekly buy wallets. It's kind of where it's been. So that's certainly, something that we're all looking to get like more confirmation. The next chart looks at the kind of a PFP index, and you can see that, we're basically flat recently. I think we've really gone into, at least for the NFTs that are in this index, it's just like farming season. Yeah, I think with this Blast token out, there's so many airdrop farmers on Blur, and you kind of get so many people bidding, and when that's hot, it can kind of hold up prices and keep them where they are. And I think we're in a little bit of that phase right now. Next slide though, and I think this is like the big news of the past 24 hours is FLAMINGO DAO had a massive sweep. Put $1 million to work. This is just a snapshot. Some of the people, some of the Maya Man. You got a couple of anticyclones in there. If you go to the next slide, though, we can look at all the different collections that were swept. The main ones, Beeple, Fragments of an Infant World, 3 Life in West America, 6 Meridians. That's crazy. 7 Cargo, 15 Zentrum.
Dude,
Human
15 Zentrum, that's our drop.
That was us.
That's the proof drop. That's amazing. I love to see that.
And a lot of these floors, like Zentrum, the Zentrum floor went up about 25%. A lot of these floors really rocketed, and you even had a little follow-on buying. So that's just like a huge piece of news for today. Next slide looks at a bunch of the Artblock sales. Just kind of some of the bigger Artblock sales. We had a ringer, that top right ringer sold for 82 ETH, red peg, red background, only 10 of those. So yeah, crazy, right? Chimera. I think Chimera was part of the suite from FLAMINGO DAO. But before that, you had a 10 ETH sale. We had a Fidenza. And then in the lower right, one collection that's been pretty hot recently is Themes and Variations by Vera Molnar. Seed Phrase bought an N, an F, and a T from that and spent 22 ETH just on the T, spent like 12 ETH on the F. Basically spent 40 something ETH just on 3 NFTs from themes from Vera Molnar. So that's been a really hot collection recently as well. It's cool, right? It's amazing how well it's doing. The other thing is there have been a lot of art drops that have just gone really well. Like stuff minting out right away. It's no surprise. This one, Worthy by ACK. There were 25 pieces sold for 5,000 euros, so something like 2 to 3 ETH, and we had a sale yesterday for 16 ETH. One for 12 ETH already. So this has been a hugely successful project that they did, I believe, with Avant Art. There's a little controversy around who got them because it was meant to be like a random raffle, and there's a little controversy there. But overall, I think in retrospect, just a very successful drop from ACK. The next slide, another huge story recently has been Jack Butcher teamed with Velocity Pass, dropped this piece trademark. There were 10,000 of them, and they were for 0.069 ETH, and you've had sales in the 2.5 to 5 ETH range. The floor is at 0.2, so that's just another example of something taking off a little bit more like the good old days. Like
Jack the Butcher strikes again. Watch out for him. He'll get you.
He does.
He's a force, man. He's a force to be reckoned with. Jack is insane.
You're such a boomer by calling him Jack the Butcher.
Why? That's awesome. That's a good nickname.
It is a good nickname. It is. I just hope that you know that that's not his actual name. I am a boomer. Sorry. All right, carry on.
I'll go to the next slide here. Just this one is crazy, and this was the we are back feeling. I kind of felt watching Views by Delta Sauce. This was it's a mint that was done with brain drops, and they minted for 0.1 ETH. I think it was 500 pieces. And I looked at my screen this morning and it was 0.25. I was like 2.5x. And then the whole timeline's talking about it. And next thing I know, I look at it and it's a 1 ETH floor. And it kind of reminded me a little bit, it's very different, but it reminded me a little bit of Life in West America, where like it came out at a low price and just slowly people started really liking the art. And the art is just different windows and something like that. And so this really was bull market vibes, the way that this thing went from 0.1 to 1 ETH and the whole, Zeneca, D-Farmer, everyone's talking about on the timeline. Next slide is another piece from XCopy. He did a 42 edition drop a few weeks ago. That one has like a 90th floor. He did another one yesterday called Simulacrum. It's on the same kind of collection as the previous one, Algo Bro. And this one was given to, I believe, 33 people got the editions, and he kept 9. And the floor right for that is 9th, but it hasn't traded yet. A couple other quick things I'll just touch on. Here is Solana NFT volume. Solana has just completely popped off. First the token popped off from all the way up to $60, but the NFTs didn't move, and that changed very quickly. And now the NFT market's moving. If you look at the next slide, Mad Lads is the biggest kind of PFP project on the ecosystem. It's gone up to about 180 Solana, which makes it about a 5 ETH PFP. So it's kind of like a top 10 PFP, even including the ETH ecosystem. Next chart is Vera Molnar. Just kind of, I've been talking about it. A lot of charts look like this after the Flamingo DAO sweeps, but this chart was before the Flamingo DAO sweep. So that's just back to all-time highs actually at 6 ETH floor. And then the last thing, this is from 2 weeks ago, but just talking about Blast. This chart you can't really see, but it looks at the overall TVL, which is the amount of ETH that people have deposited there. At the end of season 2 for Blur, they announced that season 3 is going to be going in conjunction with an L3 or with an L2. Season 3, L2.